Yo, as requested by some of you, I'm gonna be reviewing a video by Tennyson. It's called I Lived a Scientifically Perfect Life for 50 Hours.
I have gathered thousands of scientific studies, combined them all together, and created the ultimate
I would bet that none of those studies are scientific.
routine that some would consider the scientifically perfect life. And for the next 50 hours, I'm going to be following it. Why? Because my life is far from perfect, and maybe there's something in here that I could bring back to my regular life to make it just a little bit better. Let's let the science class begin, starting with a morning routine. Now, for a morning routine, I'm not interested in doing some sort of like a Navy SEAL Hell Week type thing. I'm not hopping in a cold shower. I'm not getting in a cold plunge. I'm pro warmth. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to show you a very simple routine.
Really? Is he serious? Wait. Huh. I'm very surprised if he's actually serious.
That everyone can do. There's really no excuses, and it all starts with going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time every day. Don't stay up late playing with your joystick. Get to bed. Sleep is literally the most important thing, which is why tonight I have the most insane plans for sleep tonight. The next thing we want to do is immediately brush our teeth. Yeah. That's a biological weapon. No wonder why my nickname in high school was nut breath. But basically, when you go to bed, your mouth dries out and bad bacteria builds up. And when you wake up the next morning, consume a sugary drink or sugary food before brushing, you're feeding that bad bacteria. I never brush my teeth first thing in the morning. I always have a coffee.
There's absolutely no proof for that, obviously. Not scientifically anyway, but in any way whatsoever. It's a completely, essentially religious, a blind belief based on nothing. That's why dentists will also tell you that bacteria will build up and cause tooth decay and whatnot.
I have my breakfast, then I brush. Is that gross? I'm not sure. I guess it is. Yeah. From there, I went outside to wake my body up by boosting energy, mood, and sleep quality, while also giving me vitamin D and keeping my hormones and body clock in balance. Next up on the routine, we are making a special cocktail called the High...
It's good to get sunlight, but not because you need to believe in vitamin D and whatnot. Whatever.
Fiber Hydration Bomb, which is for... hydration. Bet you didn't.
He certainly doesn't look healthy, but that's mostly because of the gym, probably. His diet is also pretty bad. He, in a way, looks like a vegan. His girlfriend is vegan or vegetarian. Maybe he eats similar to her a lot of times. He seems like somebody who would be following the lead of a woman.
See that one coming. Energy, gut health, and it's an anti-inflammatory. You're gonna need some water, lemon juice, salt, chia seeds, and a greens powder.
Salt, chia seeds. Who thought of this, man? Drink natural liquids. Salt is toxic. Chia seeds will go right through you.
Well, hopefully bomb isn't code for what I think it might be. And if it is, hopefully I get to choose when that bomb detonates. Here we go. That's gonna leave zebra stripes. Black undies kind of day. It tastes like a handful of Amazon ED pills.
So you understand that what you just drank is gonna be hard to digest, is toxic for you, and will cause diarrhea and go right through you, essentially. Yet you believe that it's healthy, or what are you trying to say, man?
For breakfast today, we are making something that was popularized by a famous strength coach of the name Charles Poliquin, and that is a meat and nut breakfast. That just sounds like my favorite breakfast in bed. But there are a lot of benefits to this kind of breakfast, and that is lower carbs equals fewer crashes. It's better for body composition and insulin sensitivity. It improves dopamine and focus. It stabilizes blood sugar, and it keeps you full. Meat and nut breakfast is consisting of filet mignon and some walnuts. Now, the calories of this dish, I don't want to know. I looked at the nutrition label of the walnuts, and
food has no calories. If you want to do a scientific what I eat in a day or whatever, why then talk about calories? Makes no sense. Show me an experiment that proves calories. Forget about it. Guy has no idea what he's talking about. And the meat is super overcooked, by the way. It's destroyed.
It was terrifying. Yeah. But I think I'm going to finish the meat off and then earn the nut.
I do have to give him props for filming himself so up close. With the dark eye circles and everything. Yeah, really, I mean it. Most people would try to hide it more. Or he's not really self-aware.
I just call that oral tradition, and I don't need science to tell you that filet mignon is a premium cut, dog. Obviously medium rare. Anything more?
It's a so-called premium cut of muscle meat. When you eat it raw, it's very soft, and that's all cool, but it's still muscle meat. It's not a premium cut of the animal as such.
Give it to the dogs. I didn't know meat could be this submissive. This is grass-fed. I almost just made a noise reserved for hotel rooms. The perfect amount of blood. Gives it a little bit of that sick.
It doesn't have any blood. Muscle meat doesn't have any blood inside. That's okay. It's all right. People don't understand this. I don't blame him.
Edge. Don't get me wrong. This is amazing, but I'm a sweet breakfast man. Why can't what I want and what makes me happy just be science, you know? You want to know what's kind of funny? We have so much data supporting this kind of breakfast and how good it is for you, yet the government just wants us eating cereal. The government wants us eating cereal so we stay fat, weak, broke, bloated.
Wait, is he serious? This is the only true thing he has ever said in his videos. If he's actually serious.
Eat cereal, feel foggy, blame yourself. It's all part of the plan. What's the plan? I'm not entirely sure. None of us are sure, but there is a plan. Nothing says population control quite like Tony the Tiger. I'm just putting that out there. There's a plan. Walnuts are the real deal.
That was very interesting. The music over it made it seem as if it's kind of a joke, sketch for the video, just this part. Conspiracy theory or whatever you would call it, but really what he said is true. Maybe he didn't want to say it in a serious way, that's why the music, and then you just cut to the next clip. Maybe he's planting ideas, maybe he's starting to understand. I doubt it though. No, not really probably, but who knows.
There are so many health benefits for walnuts specifically. It's the apex nut. So this nut should give me clarity that monks meditate 20 years for. All right.
It's still a nut, it's still a seed. Whatever.
Here we go. It's been a while. Kind of reminds me of an old man in a hot tub. A little bit of a tan, wrinkly, surprisingly creamy finish. Very earthy too. I can already tell it's going to keep me a lot fuller. The other day I DM'd Andrew Huberman and I asked him, if humans could only take 4 supplements, what would they be? And he didn't answer me. So there must be a lot more interesting things going on in the DMs, Andrew. Anywho, I did some research on my own, and I found that the 4 supplements you should take are creatine, magnesium.
Creatine is poisonous, that's why it tastes so horrible. I have a whole video about that. In case you haven't seen it, link will be in the description. It explains exactly what creatine is. It's not what you think it is.
Omegas and vitamin D. So this is
vitamin D is red poison. All of them are poisonous. All of them have an LD50 value, which proves that they are all toxic. They are poisonous on different levels, but they are still poisonous. None of this should be consumed. No supplement on this earth is safe.
To be taken. You are supposed to delay your caffeine 60 to 90 minutes after waking, so you can truly feel what rock bottom feels like. Now, I've seen a lot of studies about caffeine and coffee, and the only thing I got from it is nothing bad has ever happened from drinking coffee. If anything, delaying caffeine, it's making you immortal, more or less. So we're getting a quick little...
Again, can't really tell if he's joking. Obviously, something bad does happen, and it's that you get stimulated, which is stress, because you drink toxic seed water, and then you are alert for hours. That's the bad effect of coffee, that's it. I know that he's kind of joking, but you can never tell with him. He's also kind of serious. That's the bad effect. The energy, that's what you call it, the stress and the alertness is the bad effect. That's you being poisoned.
Black coffee because you gotta take it black. before heading to the gym. I don't know if I can keep this habit up. Waiting 60 to 90 minutes after I wake up. My Keurig is now my dominatrix. Hi, can I get a large black, please? Thanks. Oh, the smell. That's hot. It tastes so much better. You had to wait and beg for it. I'm sipping on my coffee on the way to the gym. The scientifically perfect intra-workout shake.
Honestly, I would give you a 9. So the only thing I would...
It's so obvious why Jeff Nippard works out, why he's so obsessed with bodybuilding, especially when they stand next to each other. Yeah. It's sad, really. I can see through him. I can see deep inside of his soul. I can see the pain.
You want your total rep to...
Right, and now he shows some kind of... Not even a study, right? It's a research paper, isn't it? I don't want to read it all right now. It's clearly not a scientific study, obviously, anyway. And even if it would be some report about gaining muscle size, it's not as if gaining muscle is healthy. What is healthy? What increases your lifespan? If you want to sum it up in one sentence, that's it. And obviously, stress, working out at all, only decreases your lifespan. So even if it would be a real study or whatever, that would still mean nothing as far as your health goes. And this is supposed to be all about being healthy, as far as I can understand. That's why going to Jeff Nippard and working out has nothing to do with health anyway. It doesn't even make any sense. It shouldn't even be in this video. But it just shows you exactly what Will thinks something scientific looks like. Just some report or some research. Nothing. Anti-science papers. Just beliefs written by other human beings. It's nothing. It means nothing.
last at least 2 seconds, but from 2 seconds to 8 seconds doesn't actually make any difference.
It was time to slowly work our way up in weight in order to get to our 2 top sets of maximum weight, where we're going to be pushing to complete failure.
Yeah, you see the face expression, that's it. It's a human being completely brainwashed. And again, as I said, it's obvious why he works out. And he actually probably believes that it's healthy or even increases your lifespan, which is insane to think. Actually bordering mental illness to think that you can make this kind of a face expression and increase your lifespan. Of course, you only decrease it. It's stress. It's death, essentially. It's a slow way to go towards your grave.
Nah. More. Control. Last rep, please. Last couple.
Again, look at the face expression. And people actually watch these kind of videos and believe that they are doing something healthy. That's how brainwashed people are. Even back when I worked out, I never believed that it's healthy. I even said that in a video. I knew that it's unhealthy. I ate raw organs, I drank blood, I worked out 2-3 times a week for 40 minutes. It didn't really do much damage compared to somebody who works out a few times a week and eats grains and vegetables, obviously. But still, I knew that it's not healthy. I knew that it's not increasing my longevity, that's for sure.
Drive it, drive it, drive it. Finish it.
The shoulder press is usually thought of as mainly a front delt exercise, but interestingly, both Jeff and I felt significant lateral delt activation. In fact, I actually felt it more in the side delts than the front.
So your lateral delt was 132%, your front delt was 112%, so they're pretty close.
You actually had...
He's showing all of this fancy technology, and that's supposed to impress the viewer. You're supposed to believe that they know what they are talking about. Oh, it looks so fancy and scientific, which it isn't, obviously, but that's what people will believe blindly. And then they will believe that they have the data or whatever to back up their claims, when in reality, Even all the correlation studies show that the more stress you have, the shorter your lifespan will be. If you want to believe in these nonsense studies, even those still show the opposite.
More lateral than front on the shoulder press.
What?
Yeah.
With the side delt, is that enough of a percentage of activation to be worthwhile doing?
Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare it to lateral raises and see. For side delts, we're actually just gonna do a dumbbell lateral raise.
Okay.
So normally I'd go for cables, but I think dumbbells work really well too. There was a recent study that showed no difference in hypertrophy between cables and dumbbells. And so I think...
Again, who cares? But whatever it says, this has nothing to do with health at all. I thought that this video is supposed to be about being healthy, essentially, doing what's healthy.
What is the perfect post-workout meal?
Well, the most important thing is protein. So I'd like for you to get at least 30 to 40 grams of protein.
This is interesting, for example. Jeff always talks about science this and science that, Will also. Yet they talk about protein. Protein has never been measured in food. That has never been done. These are molecules which are not observable. And it's really funny because they talk about science all the time, about knowledge, which is what you actually know. You need to sense it. That's what science is, by the way. Science is something which is used to measure what you can know, facts. It has to be knowledge. And we can only know something when we, for example, which is what you would do in a scientific study, you test it and repeat it. And when you do something scientific, you can always test it and repeat it, and you will come to the same conclusions. That's why when you measure the LD50 value of a substance, it's a real scientific study, because you can always repeat the study and you'll always come to the same results. If you test vitamin D on rats, you will always see that they poison these rats and kill them at a certain amount. Pretty much 99% of people on Earth are attached to religions, and they don't live in reality. They don't base anything on facts, knowledge, or science.
Protein. Then the next priority would be carbohydrate. That's not that important, especially if you had carbs in your pre-workout meal. The thing with glycogen is it will replenish, generally speaking, within 24 hours anyway. So unless you're doing full body training, where you're hitting every muscle on consecutive days, there's really no urgency to that. But as a general rule of thumb, around half a gram of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight. And then fats, again, since there's no real urgency for absorption, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. So, you know, the traditional wisdom was to keep fats low in the post-workout meal, but that's just to increase carb absorption. If there's really no rush to get the carbs absorbed, then it doesn't really matter if you have a lot of fat. Okay, so that's the theory. So what do you actually eat, okay? What I might do as a post-workout meal would be a chicken wrap. Okay, so you get a nice whole wheat tortilla, you get some chicken, some lettuce, a little bit of cheese, probably go for the lower fat side just to get, you know, the nutrients absorbed a little bit faster, some salsa, a little bit.
Nothing can be proven. He overcooks the chicken, puts a red sauce over it to imitate blood, a freshly killed animal, because humans in nature eat raw meat, and then he wraps it with grain sludge. And this is your science expert. Just f*** off.
The sour cream, or you could go Greek yogurt if you want to get a little extra protein in there.
Here we have the perfect post-workout meal, and to be honest...
Yeah, exactly. Look, it's the perfect scientific post-workout meal. We have green leaves, perfect. Yeah, of course. Then we have grain sludge, grains powdered up, turned into slime, and then baked into circles for the slaves. Awesome. Perfect. I love it. Super healthy. You're gonna live to 200. And then cooked to death chicken, almost just dead, everything destroyed, and a red sauce to then imitate an actually raw live chicken, which is what you really want. Yeah. No, I love it. Really scientific, perfect video, like you said. The perfect scientific life. Grain sludge, green leaves, and a red sauce and cooked meat.
Test 1, gargling salt water. This apparently helps activate the vagus nerve, which helps calm your heart rate, lower blood pressure, and reduce the physiological effects of...
There's some people out there who will tell you to drink the salt water. There's really people out there who do that, and then they have diarrhea and throw up, but they believe that they are detoxing. They are detoxing technically from the salt, but they think that it's helping them to detox from something else. That's how severely brainwashed people are.
Stress.
It's even disgusting to have it in your mouth as it is because it's touching your taste buds, and then imagine swallowing that. Oh my god, man. You hear the disgust?
And I want to boost my productivity as much as humanly possible, so I have put together the ultimate scientific setup that will help me achieve the most amount of work in the shortest amount of time. Starting with blue light blocking glasses. Check. Next up.
Makes zero sense. Why would you block natural light? Or does he mean that he's gonna be using his laptop? But you're still blocking out the light from outside.
We have a standing desk, which is linked to better attention and comfort.
Yeah, comfort, no comfort. You will feel discomfort, and that's why you will feel more alert and stressed the more you stand, and that's why you will be able to work more. But how is that a benefit? It's not as if you want to be doing any of this.
I didn't want to buy a standing desk, so I made my own with my air fryer and some checkers. It's ugly, but it'll do. Coincidentally, the top comment in my yearbook. But a standing desk does make a lot of sense because when you're sitting for a long period of time, you're hunched over, and that kind of adds up. Your posture is going to suck. You're going to look like Quasimodo in like 5 years. So this just seems like an overall good choice to make. On this side of my desk, I have some fresh rosemary because rosemary scent increases speed and accuracy of cognitive tasks.
Yeah, because it's poisonous. Yeah, similar to coffee.
Sometimes you gotta put the spray can down. And then on this side, we have some gum because chewing gum while working increases alertness and reaction time. So I'm set up here. Let's get some work done. Let's do it. So I popped a piece of gum and it was time to lock in. I will say I definitely prefer sitting down when doing work. I'm not sure if I'm getting anything out of doing it standing. Surprisingly, the rosemary scent was doing something, or maybe I was just being hustled by placebo. I'm not really sure, but time was flying by and I was getting a lot of work done. Oh shit. I've only done 4 rounds so far, and look how quick the steps are adding up. Almost 2,500. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure treadmills were originally invented as like torture devices in prisons, and I can totally see why.
That's what I always say. And again, the audience believes that he's joking, and he probably is, but it's not a joke, really. It's not even funny. It is how it is. It would be a good way to make people suffer. Yes, as he says, torture. It's a torture device because it's a torturous activity to run. Nobody likes running because running is unhealthy. Running reduces your lifespan, and everything that reduces your lifespan is unhealthy. And again, he just doesn't get it. He doesn't get that when you exhaust yourself and you're stressed, in this case extremely stressed, that it's bad for you. It's just impossible to get through to this guy.
Since today was an off day from lifting, after the cardio, I went to get some of the top-of-the-line science-backed recovery, starting with compression therapy, which has a long list of benefits. The green light just beaming in my face is a therapy used for skin issues like hyperpigmentation, dark spots, and sunspots, as well as to promote calming and anti-inflammatory effects.
It just feels like some dude is just gripping both.
Even if that would help with some kind of spots, what would it have to do with health exactly? It would make you look better, maybe. It wouldn't make you healthier.
Then I did some more common things like red light therapy.
Imagine a science video without red light. Not possible. I never heard Einstein talk about red light. Maybe he knows.
Yeah, because Einstein would have gone into the sun, just like everybody did, up until some decades ago when they came out with sun studios, as they call it, solar studios. and this kind of nonsense and red light saunas and whatnot. But then you still put on glasses. Why? Is it bad for the eyes or what? If it's bad for the eyes, how can it be good for your overall body?
Nothing else science.
And then lastly, cryotherapy. Gives more energy, boosts flexibility, increased blood flow. That's exactly why I do cocaine. You're only in this chamber for 3.
Cocaine, he said, yeah. Because that's what drugs would do, because it's bad for you. Jesus, he says the truth so many times in an unintentional way.
After brushing my teeth, I went outside for a moonlight walk with my son, Boba. You're not supposed to have your phone, but I'm filming this.
His son. Yeah, nice man. If you want to be happy, don't expect to get it from a dog.
On my phone. So I don't know, but it felt really nice to be outside. Having a little sleepy time cocktail of warm almond milk and collagen.
Why doesn't he have children? Because of the working out? Because of the vegan girlfriend? Or vegetarian, whatever. Whatever.
And peptides. Maximizing my restfulness, one milk nut at a time. It doesn't taste like sweet dreams, but hopefully it will lead to them. As my head hit the pillow after yet another day of flawless execution, I feel like I just aced life's final exam. But tomorrow is the real experiment. Breaking bad habits and putting the new ones to work. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Some kind of weird humor. Or whatever it's supposed to be. Not my thing, but doesn't he have the girlfriend anymore then? Did they break up? Not that I care. Maybe that explains it. Now he's only with the dog? That's even worse, really. Or better, actually, for the future. A really horrible video. It was hard to watch it. Just like most of Will Tennyson's videos. He really is one of the worst YouTubers. It's not the videos even as such so much, although they are not really good. It's that he uses these words, science and scientifically. He misinforms people constantly. He doesn't care about that. He probably believes most of the nonsense that he says. That's what it seems like. His videos are unbearable, man. I get why you guys recommend them, because most of what he says is incredibly wrong. I don't think that anything that he showed in this video was based on a scientific study or an experiment. That's how bad his videos are. He constantly acts. He makes horrible jokes. He looks pretty sick. He kind of looks like a vegan, probably because of his bad diet and all the stress from the working out, because he works out incredibly much. And usually there's a lot of horrible information. And in this case, he wanted to show us the perfect life, the way you should be living, scientifically, and he showed us the opposite. Bravo, Will. Yes. Once again, great job. A perfect life would be a natural life. What else can be perfect besides nature? Name one thing that's better than nature. I'll be waiting forever. Thanks for watching.